In this video, I'll be showing you how to place leverage orders on the Bybit exchange. It's one thing to be able to read the chart and determine where you're actually going to enter into a trade. After that, you need to be able to actually execute the order. So this will be a quick tutorial video on the various different order types and how to actually go about placing the trades. If that does interest you, be sure to stick with me until the very end. Without further ado, let's get right into it and let the gains be with you. Welcome to Crypto Empire. My name is Connor, and this is where we dominate the crypto markets. If you are new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and turn on all bell notifications so you don't miss any future videos. Now, this video is specifically for placing orders with leverage on Bybit. This is not a full Bybit exchange tutorial. I have already made one of those videos. So if it's your first time using Bybit and you have no idea what you're doing, go ahead, click the card right here and watch my full Bybit exchange tutorial. Like I said, this video is only for placing orders with leverage. So the first step to actually going about trading with leverage is understanding how to manage your risk. Because without a proper risk management strategy, you most likely will blow up your trading account. And we don't want that. You don't want that. The key to trading is to stay in the game, to live to trade another day, letting your winners take care of all of your losers. And if you can't manage your risk, well then that won't happen for you, and like I said, you'll probably blow up your account and you'll be out of the game. So in order to really understand how to manage your risk, Bybit does have a very handy tool. Up here in the top right corner of my screen, you can see a little calculator icon. If we go about clicking on this calculator icon, this is a very handy tool that I use for all of my trades to actually determine where I can place my stop loss, where I want to place my profit target, so I know exactly how much I will make or lose if my stop loss does get hit in the trade before I even enter into the position. Because the thing with trading is you need to plan your trade ahead of time. It is never a good idea to go off the whim and randomly jump in and out of the market. You should be trading with an edge at all moments of time to play from a position of strength and put the probabilities of success in your favor. So this is a very easy tool to use. First thing is you want to determine how much leverage you want to trade with. Typically for newer traders, I tell them to stay lower leverage, like less than 5x. But I personally like to trade with around 10x leverage most of the time. Sometimes I'll go heavier, sometimes I'll go lighter. It really does depend on the situation. For the example, we'll use 10x leverage. Now we're currently on a Bitcoin chart, so it's asking for the quantity of our order. So if we wanted to be trading with, let's just say 10 million Satoshis, well, then we would put 0.1 because that's 10 million Satoshis, right? 0.1 BTC is 10 million sats. So we would put that as our quantity. This is just an example, by the way. This is for educational purposes only so that you know how to actually use the calculator tool to determine how much you could potentially make or lose on a given trade. So quantity, 0.1 Bitcoin. Entry price, let's just go about the example that I actually called today in the Crypto Empire Premium Discord group. I did trade Bitcoin on a scalp day trade, and we can take a look over here and see that I was anticipating a breakout above the $45,000 resistance level. I'll get into what actually happened, but we'll just use this example for example's sake right now. So the entry was $43,750. So entry price, we would put $43,750 there. Now the close price. This is going to be both our take profit and our stop loss. We'll do one at a time to determine if this is actually a good risk reward trade. I usually only like to take 3-to-1 risk reward trades. This way I can lose 5 out of 10 times and still be a profitable trader. I don't need that high of a win rate. I do have a higher win rate than 5 out of 10, but taking 3-to-1 risk reward trades minimum allows you much more margin for error. Right, you have more forgiveness as a trader. And like I said, the key here is to not blow up your account and stay in the game, especially if you are newer, because if you're newer, well then you need to learn before you really start trading with heavy size. All right, so there's no point in going big too quickly here. Really don't let the market take away your funds prematurely. Live to trade another day if you're just getting started and really learn the ropes. Anyway, the target here was 47,500. Just for example's sake, I already am out of the trade, by the way, but if it was 47,500 and we entered at $43,750, you can see that I would make $375 on this trade, right, with an initial margin of $437.50. That's the margin that is needed to actually go ahead and place the order. All right, so that's a profit of $375, and if I were to get my stop loss hit at 42,800, well, we can just put that in here, 42,800, and you can see that I would lose $95. So that is over a 3-to-1 risk reward trade. If my stop loss gets hit, I only lose $95. If my take profit gets hit at 47, even if it's just 47K, I make $325. Right, $325 to $95, that is over a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio. So before you go ahead and take any trade, always use the calculator tool, determine what your risk reward ratio will be. A point that I would like to make is, depending on your account size, you really shouldn't be risking more than 2% on a given leverage trade. So that means if your account size is $10,000, the maximum you should be risking on a trade should realistically be around $200. Now, this is just a rule of thumb. You're trading with your own capital, your own money on the line, so you need to make your own trading plan, all right? Nobody can make that for you. Nobody can tell you how much you should be risking, but I do recommend to not risk more than 2%, 3% on a given trade, right? So that means if your account is 10K, your max risk would be $200. If your account size was $1,000, your max risk would be just $20 on a given single trade, right? Those are just numbers to work off of. Like I said, determine your own risk strategy. This is not financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. So just a quick FYI before we do move on to actually going and placing the orders, you can figure out if you're going to be going short, your profit and loss as well. And you can also determine your target price. Let's say you wanted to make 100% on a trade. It would tell you what price to take profit at, right? So it would say your target price on this long order would be $48,125 if you wanted to make 100% profit, right? With 10x leverage, that's a 10% gain, right? 10 times 10 is 100. You can also determine your liquidation price on any given trade depending on your account size as well with the calculator tool. And depending on if you're going long or short, just hit the long or short button up here on the top so that you get the right information for what you are looking for. So that's a quick tutorial on how to use the calculator tool. It does very much come in handy. Now let's move on to actually going about placing the orders. All right, so you should already know if you want to be trading with cross or isolated, and then you can change your leverage up here. I go over all that in the full Bybit tutorial. So let's just go about the different order types. So you have a limit order, a market order, or a conditional order. We'll go through each one. So I'll start with a market order. A market order is very simple. It will execute your order right away at the current market price, and the current market price is always going to be displayed right here just to the left of where you're actually going to be placing the order. So the current market price at this moment in time is $43,799. So if I were to place a market order, it simply would execute my order right away at the current market price. This is a taker order, meaning I would be paying taker fees, right? Because I'm taking liquidity from the exchange. So I'll be paying more fees with a market order. Typically, I will never use a market order. I trade with limit orders or conditional limit orders. A limit order allows you to determine the price that you're going to enter the trade at ahead of time. So for that previous example, we were going to take the long on Bitcoin. This already played out, so I'll just go through the example. We were going to take the long at $43,750. Price is right there, so I'm really not going to use this example. Let's just say, for example's sake, we have this rally, then some basing candles over here, then a nice pump up. Let's say we wanted to go long just here at $41,800 in this little pocket of demand down here in anticipation that price would make its way back up higher from here, right? Just for example's sake, of course. So right here at $41,800, that's where I want to enter into the trade. And just to basically illustrate more clearly, we can look at the trading view chart. So I am looking on the 1 hour. I'm looking right here about where my yellow line is, right? We have a bit of a rally, base rally zone. So let's say we wanted to go long in that demand zone, for example's sake. So we would go ahead and put our order price at 41,800. And that is our entry price. Now for the quantity of the order, this is the amount of Bitcoin that I'll actually be trading here. I'm going to say I want to trade 10 million Satoshis again, so that's going to be 0.1 BTC. Now, I can just go ahead. I always have post only clicked off, right? So it's not going to be a market order ever. It will only give me maker orders, right? Limit orders, right? So I will be making or adding liquidity to the exchange and not taking away, meaning I pay less fees. So I can go about adding a target profit and a stop loss here, or I can just hit open long, and you're going to see that it does show up right here on the chart when I hit open long like that, right? The order is now placed on the exchange. It's that simple, but I don't actually have a stop loss or a take profit order set at all. Now, we can go about adding that. If we come down here to the active positions where it says TP/SL, we can simply hit add here, and I can put a take profit and a stop loss order wherever I want, right? So this is one way to do it. I'll show you another way to do it afterwards. So let's just say we wanted to put our stop loss at an invalidation point in the chart that would invalidate our long trade, and I would say that would just be underneath the zone here at $40,650. So I can just put a stop loss at $40,650 here, and I can hit confirm, and it would add the stop loss to the position, right? So when the trade would get filled, the stop loss would automatically then be an active order waiting to get triggered if the price of $40,650 does actually get hit. Now for my take profit orders, these are market orders, by the way, your take profit and your stop loss orders. I don't like to use market orders typically for my take profit because I can suffer slippage and I can make less than I had wanted to, than I had anticipated to, right? So typically for my take profit orders, I will use the close function up here on the top right of the exchange, right? Before we were opening a trade, now we want to actually go about closing a position, right? So I would wait until the trade does actually get filled, until my limit order does get hit. After my limit order does get hit at $41,800, what I would actually go and do is I would come up here to close. I would select a limit order, not a market order, and I would figure out where I actually want to go about taking profit. In this case, if I'm long down here, let's say I wanted to get out at resistance up here at 45K, very simple round number for example's sake. So I put my order price at $45,000, and quantity I would say 100% of my order, which is 10 million Satoshis, right? And then I would just hit close long, right, the red button over here, and it won't let me place it actually because I have no active position to close out. Like I said, you need to wait until the order gets triggered, your limit order to entry actually gets triggered before you can actually go about placing a closed long order. It makes sense. It's common sense. I hope that does make sense for you. If it doesn't, just go back and rewind because it's very simple. You can't place a close order until your position is actually open. All right, so that's how you go long. It's very simple. You just use a regular limit order. And if you want to move the order, you can just drag it. You can drag it wherever you want, as you can see on the chart. If I wanted to move my go long order down here to 38,000, it's very simple. Well, my stop loss is set, so let's just get rid of that and confirm that. And let's say we wanted to move the order down here. I can do that very simply by dragging it there on the chart. And if I wanted to cancel the order, I could simply just hit cancel down here where it says action, or I can hit the X here on the chart and it just cancels the order, and I don't have to worry about anything anymore. The order is canceled. All right, so that's how you go about placing a long limit order, setting your stops, and how I go about setting my take profit orders. And by the way, with these take profit orders, let's say I only wanted to take out 50% of my trade at $45,000. So for quantity, all I would do is put 0.05 instead of 0.1, right? Because that's half of 0.1. So that would close half of my position at 45K, and I would still have half of my position to ride up higher for more profits, right? That's how you scale out of a trade. Very simple. Now, if we wanted to go short, it would be the same exact thing, only it would be going opposite. So I'll just quickly go over a short example for you. Why not? So if we look at the 4-hour chart, let's say we wanted to go short over here. And by the way, guys, just FYI, we did actually go about closing that trade. I did close out at $44,000 for a quick 8% profit, right? So scalping does require a lot more capital. It's a good way to learn if you're just getting started, but if you want to really scalp for a living, you're going to need a lot of capital to scalp. So an 8% gain, not bad at all. Depending on your account size, that could be a very sizable gain. So if I wanted to go short, let's say if we look at the daily chart, let's say I want to wait up here at my yellow resistance line at $48,580. Let's just say, for example's sake only, I wanted to go short at $48,580. So all I would do is, again, I would use a limit order personally, and I would hit order price $48,580, 48,580, I do believe was the level. Just confirm that, 48,580, yes. So we would put our order price at 48,580. Quantity, let's just keep it simple and say 10 million sats, 0.1 BTC. And we're going to be selling short here. So if I want to, I can hit sell short with take profit / stop loss, right? And I can put in my take profit and my stop loss here. Let's just put in the stop loss. I typically do put in the stop loss right away when I place the order. So let's say I want to put the stop at 50,000, just for example's sake. So we would put stop at 50K. And then all I would do is I would have post only, good till canceled, and I would hit open short. And if we zoom this out to a daily, you can see on the chart that again, my sell short order is right here. I can move this, right? If I wanted to move it up a little bit higher, I can go ahead and just move it a little bit higher by dragging it on the chart. So it's very simple. A limit order. It allows you to determine where you're actually going to place the trade, enter into the trade ahead of time, and it allows you to set and forget your order, so you don't need to be constantly monitoring your computer. So we went over a market order, we went over a limit order, both long and short. By the way, I didn't add any take profits. If I wanted to add a take profit, all I would do again is come up here to the top right where it says close, because we want to close the position, take profit, and I would use a limit order again. And let's say I wanted to take profit here at $40,000. Let's say I think it's going to go back down to 40K from 48,580. So I put order price, quantity 0.1 again, right? Because that's going to be the order size, and I would hit close short. It won't work if I click it because I have no open order to actually close. But if you do have that open order, if you wait until the order gets triggered, well then you would go ahead and put in your close short order to take your profit after the order does get triggered. So that's how you go long and short using a regular limit order. Now, I will go over the conditional order because I do like these entries as confirmation entries, especially as a supply and demand zone trader. By the way, if you haven't watched my supply and demand trading videos yet, I strongly encourage you to do so. They are absolutely free right here on my YouTube channel. I will leave a card right here to my supply and demand zone trading videos. Everybody has said how much it has helped them out, and I will be making more trading tutorial videos here on YouTube to help you out with your TA. Nonetheless, let's just go ahead and move on. So let's just say I wanted to take a confirmation entry. Let's say that I think Bitcoin is going to come back down here. I know my chart's a little bit messy, but let's just say I think Bitcoin is going to come back down here to around $38,500. Okay? But I want to be safe and take a confirmation entry. What a confirmation entry is let's say that price makes its way back down here to where I want to enter the trade at 38,500. Now, what a confirmation entry allows me to do is basically buy price on its way back out of the zone. So I won't actually get triggered in the middle of the zone. My order won't get triggered until price starts actually going in the direction that I want. What this does is it prevents the scenario where if price comes back to the zone, then it just decides to blow through all support and just crash lower. I would never get filled into the trade with a confirmation entry, right? So these are used on a case-by-case basis, depending on what kind of trade it is. For supply and demand zone trades, if I think it's going to be risky, then I'll use a confirmation entry. It's just one tool in my overall arsenal. It's very simple, right? We're not just one side static traders, right? We use a different approach depending on the situation, because trading is very dynamic. You need to be fluid, you need to be one with the market, and depending on what's happening, you can use different order types to place your trades. So with the confirmation entry, we need to determine two things. We first need to determine our trigger price and then our entry price. The trigger price will actually activate the order, right? So let's just say I want my trigger price to be here at 38,500, and I want my entry to be up here at this breakout line at $39,300, right? So that means I would never get filled unless price does actually come down here and hit 38,500 first. So let's head back to Bybit, and we will select the conditional order type. And I want to use a limit order, not a market order. So make sure you have limit order selected. Now from here, we can go about placing our trigger price. This is the order activation price, nothing more. So like we discussed, our trigger price is going to be 38,500, right? And now we have our actual entry price for the order. Like we discussed, it will be $39,300. So what does that mean? Just one more time to make sure that it's crystal clear. All that means is that if price does come down here to $38,500, my order would then be activated up here at $39,300. So then if the price starts making its way back up higher, I would get filled here on its way back up. And again, this allows me to avoid the situation of price just blowing through all supports, all demand zones, and heading lower. I would never be in the trade, which does prevent me from taking on that risk, right? That's the confirmation entry. So our order price would be $39,300. Let's say we're just trading with 0.1 BTC, and we can put our stop loss in if we want to, or we can wait until the position is actually filled. Totally depends on you as a trader. So for this example, let's just say we wanted to put the stop below this low wick at 36,850. So I would put stop loss at $36,850. And I would wait to place my take profit order, because again, if I put my take profit order here, it would be a market order, and I like to use limit orders for my take profit because I don't like getting hit with slippage. Now all we have to do is hit the open long button, and you can see it does show you how much you would lose if the take profit or the stop loss order does get hit in this situation, right? So you can use this or the calculator tool. I like knowing everything before I even go about placing the trade. So all I would hit is open long, and you can see it does show up here on the chart. And if I wanted to, I can move it around, but I won't. But simply the activation price is $38,500, and I would not get actually entered into the trade until $39,300. That is the confirmation entry. It is great to use if you are a supply and demand zone trader. So this video was a tutorial on how to take leveraged orders on the Bybit exchange. This was not a full Bybit tutorial video. Like I said, I've already made one of those. Go and check the link in the description if you want my full Bybit tutorial. But I hope that you did enjoy this video on actually learning how to place and take your trades. It's one thing to be able to read the charts. You need to also be able to execute the orders properly. It's very simple once you learn how to do it. But I understand there are a lot of new traders out there that want to learn how to actually go about taking your leverage trades. This is exactly how you do it. We went over limit orders, market orders, and conditional limit orders. I hope that you did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you let me know with a like down below. And if you have any questions or anything at all, leave them in the comments section down below. And if you're not already subscribed to Crypto Empire, go ahead right now and smash that subscribe button and turn on all bell notifications so you don't miss any future videos. And my name is Connor from Crypto Empire, and I will see you in the next video.